I've heard a lot of people talking about how the 2022 Tundra is a superior vehicle when it comes to horsepower and torque, particularly torque, and particularly in the hybrid version. Well, I'm here to dispute that today, and I don't think that 2022 Tundra can match up, even though it's got superior horsepower and torque. Just can't do it to the 5.7 with a 4.30 rear axle, and I'm here today to prove it. Now, recently TFL did a video where they did a couple videos actually, where they did a 0 to 60 time in a TRD Pro with the hybrid. That was 6.86, and they reached 7.02 in the non-hybrid version of the 2022 Tundra. Both of these were in Texas, so not particularly high, and I'm going to tell you I can do better in my stock 5.7 and prove it to you today, why this thing is such a beast. If you like this video, go ahead and hit like and subscribe. If you dislike it, tell me why, and tell me where you think I'm wrong, and then go ahead and hang out for the challenge at the end if you got a 2022 Tundra.
I'm going to tell you, with my little straw poll that I did, the biggest single reason most people seem to not be interested in the 2022 Tundra, if they're not interested, and obviously many people are interested in it, but if they're not interested in it, it's the absence of a V8 engine. And I know there are going to be people who say, hey, that V8 engine is, you know, outdated, turbos are where it's at, all that sort of stuff, and they're going to show me the great numbers. But we're going to take a look in this video. I've already completed some stuff I'm going to show you here in just a bit. We're going to take a look in this video and show you why that outdated V8, that outdated naturally aspirated V8, still may be a bit of a better performer than you realize. Let's take a look at the equipment we're going to use to achieve these massive numbers today. We got stock wheels with 60,000 mile-ish Michelin Defender LTX mud and snow tires, right there. We've got a stock 5.7 liter naturally aspirated engine, no supercharger here. We're going to see, and of course in that back we got that 4.30 final rear gear axle. Let's go ahead and see what we can do with it. You know, one of the things that I've noticed on the channel is that everybody's loved the V8. We're going to see what it can do today. Beautiful January day in Georgia. If we look here, temperature is 55 degrees out. I've got about 2/3 of a fuel tank. Hey, that makes it just about the same as what we would ordinarily get out of the new Tundra. But what I want to show you here today is my radio. I've had a lot of questions about my radio. I've got some things up right now that I don't really use. If you look at the center gauge, I've got a 0 to 60 time, and we're going to see if we can find some place out near the lake here to get you a 0 to 60 time on my stock Tundra. And then there's of course a 1/4 mile time up there too in the upper right hand corner. I don't ever use that. So I've put out a couple videos on the Toyota Tundra, and in most of my videos what I get asked about is right here is my radio. It's kind of interesting, my head unit here, and so I'm going to go ahead and just put the links to the review I did on the head unit today. One of the other things I would note here is I just went uphill in that lower left hand corner. You can see it says I've got about 386 to 388, now 389 miles of range, because I just came off a hill. It's picking up a little bit, and I'm at 2/3 of a fuel tank. Range is extremely important to me when I travel. Places I travel are pretty darn remote, and if I don't have the range of a 38-gallon fuel tank or something equivalent when I'm towing my travel trailer, I'm really not interested. That's one of the unique things about this Tundra, was that best-in-class 38-gallon fuel tank that they no longer have, is they dropped it down to 22.6 and 32 point nothing. Seconds, not too shabby for a stock Tundra. Crew Max 4-wheel drive. Up the road here pretty safely. It looks like it goes uphill a bit, but let's give it one more run here from a complete stop. Oh, look at that, 6.66 to 60. And guess what? That was going uphill a little bit. Got a good jump that time, and I don't think that your twin turbo turbos are going to sound anything quite like that doing it.
Now, some of you more astute observers may have noted that the seconds didn't start clicking right away when I hit the gas. But as you can see here, it also doesn't stop when we hit 60, as there's still a little more over a second to go before it quits calculating the number. Now, let's take a look at what kind of numbers we get when we have my boat in tow. Sometime I'm going to have to do this with my travel trailer as well, but I honestly do not think that the twin-turbo V6 can keep up with it. And if someone has evidence showing otherwise, I would love to see it.
So here's what we're moving today. It's my 220 Starcraft that's been 220 Starcraft Star Step that's been winterized. I'm going to be moving it back, full fuel tank in it, which is 56 gallons. That combined with the trailer, we're talking about 4,000 pounds here. I don't use a weight distribution hitch when I tow this. I don't take it very far distances, so we'll see how this does. Now, as you can see here, I've got my boat hooked up. As you can tell on my camera there. I've got no reason to move my travel trailer right now, but I'll do it sometime. Travel trailer weighs closer to between 6,000 and 7,000 pounds. And let's switch to our gauges. There we go. And we got tow all momentan coming up to the stop sign here. We're gonna wait till the coast is clear. So we're gonna wait for this car to pass. We're on a little bit of a hill in the road, but let's see. So 14.84 to 60. Not too bad, not too bad. Again, I don't know what that twin turbo will really do in the V6. I know it's got more horsepower. I know it's got more torque, definitely on the low end. The question is, does it really matter? I enjoy, you know, the guys that are out there doing it that I'm sure we all watch. I'll name drop here, you know, TFL, Truck King, of course, Pickup Trucks Plus SUV Talk. They all put out some great stuff, and I watch them, but I also watch them with a little bit of a discerning eye and a little bit of a discerning ear. I try to listen to what they say and pay attention to what they're doing, and I would encourage you to do the same thing. One of the things they frequently do when they talk about the performance of this naturally aspirated V8 engine is they're not really testing it in the right situation. When you're up in Denver, you know, which of course is the mile-high city, and you're 5,000 feet and above, yeah, turbos do have a little bit of an advantage. There's no doubt about that. When you're up in Scottsbluff, Nebraska, 3,891 feet of elevation, I had to look that one up. Again, you're up quite a bit higher than where most of the country lives. And most of the country lives between sea level and about 1,500 feet. When you think about Texas, you think about Florida, you think about the east and west coast, most of us, the Midwest, Illinois, Ohio, Michigan, where the population is, we're pretty darn close to sea level. And so when we do these tests at elevation, someone tells you the turbos are quicker, you have to really discern that and say, well, what's going on there? So I'm going to throw an open challenge out there to anybody that's bought or thinking of buying that 2022 with the twin turbo V6 in it. The challenge is, go ahead, see if you can officially beat the number of the beast.